Because reading is what?
Fundamental.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Do You Rate BTS? I'm Lisa.
And I'm Delaze. Welcome back, guys. So this week we are actually finishing up our BTS Fanfic ratings, which we did a part one for a few weeks back. And now we're finishing up with part two with the stories that we did at the very, very beginning of the podcast.
These stories were so hard to write.
So hard, and it was funny. I was telling Lisa earlier, I said you could see how we've changed in what we've read, because a lot of these first stories are full of smut and they're all kind of similar, and these ones are quite different. So it was just kind of funny to see that from when we first started to now. So
we've grown, girl. We've
grown a little bit, we've matured and whatnot.
It's just so funny because listening back to like all the podcasts is like, because I always go back and listen because when I'm at work, I listen sometimes. But you could just see like, I don't know if the readers know, listeners know, but we have stuff going on in our lives, and I can listen and tell what did happen in our lives by listening back.
I can as well.
So I was listening to the Gentleman's Club, and I had just had Mikey.
Yeah.
It was so much going on. So,
girl, I was just thinking about one we did when I was coming off of surgery recovery. I'm like, dang, I sound like I was going through it. Lord,
it'd be like that sometimes.
It sure do. But
it's nice to go back and listen sometimes. Though.
It is kind of cool, but it's also a little bit like, for me, I have a hard time when I listen to them because I'm like, dang, this sounds like crap. Like, not the story and what we're talking about, but like the actual sound quality, because I couldn't figure it out, and I'm still trying to figure it out. But but it's a work in progress. We're getting there. Hopefully
we're growing. We're learning.
Hopefully we'll get some more tips and tricks and whatnot, and
Well, you know what's funny is that I was listening to one where we was like, if anybody can help us with AF3, and then like a couple ones ago, we were still saying, anybody know how to help us with AF3?
Yeah, girl, and Tumblr still, please need that help.
Yeah.
We definitely still need that help.
A whole 2 years later, we still need help.
Yeah. I'll be honest, though. After those few couple that we found on Tumblr, I haven't really revisited it in a while.
Me neither.
I just have a hard time with the fact that, like, when we're reading and you scroll, like, if you go out of it, who has time to just read, like, nonstop, for real? So it's like, if you go out of it, then you have to start from the very, very beginning, and that's just, sometimes you just don't remember where you stopped at. Now you got to read through it again. It's just doing too much.
Well, that's how I feel about AL3. And then once the app we were using for AL3 is no longer being able to be used, I'm like,
Yeah, I'm hoping that there's another. Yeah, I'm hoping that there's another app or something that we can use, because that one was a game changer.
Like, literally.
So, all right.
But anyway, we're getting ready to start off with number 17. We're rating the past stories we've read.
Yes, go for it.
So my number 17 is Player.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, girl. I was thinking about Player, and Player wasn't even, like, when I think about Player and I think about, what's that other story, that other sugar story that we read?
Which one, girl?
Bill.
Bill. Mm-hmm.
Comparing them to, yeah.
Well, if you compare those two, because you can't really do that. Like, those are completely different.
But compared to the rest of this list,
I can see that.
To me,
I have Player a little bit higher, But yeah, I could
I
see
mean,
that.
I'm not saying it was a bad read.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just
none
on
of
this
them are.
list.
Yeah.
Yeah, on this list, that's what my number 17 is. What's your number 17?
My number 17 is Golden Boy, and it's the Jin story.
Uh huh.
That's my number 17. Like the idea of it, of him being a porn star and stuff like that, and her having him as her neighbor, and like them end up, being cool. I just, that whole thing, it was cool, and it was a good story, but it was just meh for me.
Yeah, I can understand. But you know what was funny about that? He was always in that hallway.
Always in the hallway. Every single time she opened that door, where he at? Right there. Being
And he'd be
nosy.
like randomly eating something,
Yeah.
or
Leaning up
I'm
on
like,
the doorway, like, boy, if you don't get you some business.
why? Okay, what was your number? 16.
So my number 16, and I was thinking about it again, but that's where I'm putting it. So I had the frat boy story. I
Really?
did. I did. I probably honestly should have that one higher above some of these other ones that I ranked higher, but that's where I have it. I like the story, but I don't know. Yeah, I probably should have
I,
had it ranked a little bit higher. Now I'm looking at my list again. I'm like,
mm,
because some of these ones that are ahead of it are not as, yeah, frat boy should be ranked higher. But this is where it's at. So what's your number
that's where it's
16?
at. My number 16, believe it or not, is Velvet Dungeon.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I love Velvet Dungeon. It really had a lot of weirdness. Like, you know how I told you I feel weird about that story.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It wasn't even all that. Wasn't even really dramatic like that. But I don't know. I told you I had that weird vibe as I did with Lucky Fangirl.
Right, right.
But it still was a good story with that good cast.
Yeah, it did have a good story. It had an amazing cast.
Yeah, for real. I remember Angela Bassett girl
Yes.
as that mama.
Yep. That crazy behind mom.
So moving on, my number
15.
15 is Golden Boy.
Okay. Okay. I get that.
Now, what was your number 15? We already discussed what Golden Boy was about.
Right. So my number 15 is Velvet Dungeon.
Okay, girl, we on the same path so far.
Right, right. Okay, so what my number, so that was 15. Okay, so we're on 14.
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh. Not my computer screen going black as I'm trying to read. That's rude.
Oh no.
So my number 14 is I have His Tutor Girl.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. We both have that as number 14.
Yeah.
So his Turtle Girl was actually a really good story. I love that story. And I actually was listening to it right before you called.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked it, but it is just where it's at because all these stories are.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
just wasn't gonna. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. What's your 13?
And wait a minute,
Oh no.
let me just say this.
Okay.
I remember why 14, his Tutor Girl, is because she told us in the beginning of that story that they were not going to be together.
She did. She did.
And I read that story, and it was good. But I still was hoping they was going to be together.
She did, which is
why.
so funny. Yeah, I don't know why either, girl. She was very clear about that.
She was very clear. She was like, just let y'all know, it's not him happy like y'all wanted to.
Right.
So, but yeah, that was my number 14. Moving on to number 13. My number 13 is Roommates with Benefits.
Really?
I knew you was going to say that.
I have Roommates with Benefits so much higher.
It was good.
I just thought that, because that was the one where he, like, they hooked up, and then they would only hook up in the living room, and then they started to really be feeling each other, and then like they started following each other, or they matched on some dating site, and then they decided they were gonna go on a date, and they were kind of holding the secret from Jimin, but Jimin was like, "I've been known," and they went on this really cute date he had planned out. Because remember all the times that they would have sex, he was like saying really random, like, stuff about books and stars and astrology,
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah.
So he had set up that whole little scavenger hunt for her, and it was so
Oh, what
cute.
about the pizza? Eating a pizza with the
Yeah.
ex-girlfriend that popped up out of
Oh
nowhere.
yeah, I forgot about that. That was some
Hmm.
mess.
Yep. And then they was going on their first. Remember, they was supposed to go on their first like real date because they had been just hooking up.
Right.
And he ended up having to like spend the day with that other girl and had to cancel on her. She was just torn.
Uh huh.
That story was good.
Yep. And she was pissed about that girl.
Hmm.
That's right. I forgot about that. Where did I put his tutor girl at? We just talked about that.
14.
14. I was about to say, why do I have two things in the same spot? It got weird. Sorry.
Roommates with benefits was number 13. What was yours?
So my number 13 is the arrangement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was a Jimin story
Mhm.
where Jimin's dad and the girl's dad had worked together, and he was holding secrets for the dad. So in order for him not to go to jail, he had to promise off his daughter to Jimin, and they had to have this whole arrangement where they're supposed to like get married, but then they're also were supposed to have kids. And she get pregnant, and then she lose the kid, and then they were like, "Y'all need to get divorced because she's a dud." You remember him calling her a dud, the dad?
Yes, girl.
Girl,
Wasn't that the story where when they first got married, Jimmy was upstairs begging that girl. She was like, "Oh,
yup,
I could do better. Let me come home, be over
yep,
here."
yep, that was
Oh
it.
yeah, 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 yeah. That
Yep.
was a good story
That
though.
was, wasn't it?
But it wasn't long. I remember it not
No, it
being
was
that
really
long.
short. Yeah, it was a very, very short story.
Hmm. And what number was that for you?
That was number 13 for me.
Oh, okay. So number 12, the arrangement.
Okay, so it was really close. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we right on the money.
So my number 12 is player.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit higher than you would expect, but I actually kind of liked the story. It kind of annoyed me a little bit, but I did like it.
Hmm.
Because the whole time when he was like, I don't want her. I don't want you. You should leave me alone. And now he want to be all in love. And I'm following you to
Right.
wherever and all this other stuff after girl gets alcohol poisoning and all this other craziness.
Wasn't that the story where she moved with her grandma
Yes. Yes, it is.
and they had to go to Harvard?
Yeah. And he popped up at the gas station as she was getting ready to get robbed or something.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Just popped
Yeah.
up for nowhere. Like, where did you come
Nowhere.
from,
Like, I
sir?
was just in the neighborhood. Like, bro, I'm in a whole nother city. What you mean?
Right.
You don't pop up in like we like two states over damn near.
Right. That was good though. That story was good.
Yeah. So what is your number 11?
Okay, so my number 11 is the Gentleman's Club. And now I will tell y'all that I
What?
ranked this at number 11. Went back, listened to the whole episode, and mad at myself because I ranked it at 11, but I could not change it.
Yeah, I get that.
But if y'all remember the Gentleman's Club, the girl was like, when she set up like by her friends.
Yeah, well, yeah, and they had blah, 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 blah. She set up by her friend, and then she met one of them, and then she ended up meeting like all of them, and they all had different like kinks and
Mhm.
specialties that they were into.
Mhm.
So yeah, that story was good. And then remember when they was at the gallery, the art gallery, and they showed
Mhm.
up, girl, that whole scene,
Yes, yes,
so
yes.
good.
But what made me mad about this is she wanted that dick the whole time. He would not give it
Not
to
give it to her.
her.
I remember
I
in the
was listening.
episode. I remember us talking about some. I never wanted somebody to get some so bad, like, cause I remember we was talking
Yes.
about that one in that episode.
Remember, she wanted to suck his dick real bad. Her mouth was
Mhm.
watering. And it's so
Mhm.
funny because in the episode we were just talking and we was like, boy, my mouth was watering. You was big, Chef.
Girl, girl was ready for her.
For her.
Yeah, girl.
We was all ready.
Yeah. Like, dang, can you just give it to her? Damn. Like,
Right. And she wanted it so bad. He was like, I'm gonna wait.
I don't think you're ready yet. She was like, what you mean?
Right. They did other stuff, but
They did, yeah.
I mean, still though, come on.
Yeah, that story was good. There was a lot to that story. It was really good though. That's another I think that's another AO3 story.
But was it?
I think so.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think
What's
it
your
is.
number 11?
My number 11 is Promise.
Okay.
Yeah, that whole idea of her making that promise to her drug dealer brother, like I just couldn't get over that. That was so crazy to
Right.
me. Like, I promise I'm gonna do this to take care of. Like, girl, if you don't tell him, sorry, bruh. Good luck in the
Right.
afterlife. But
Yeah, like that was the whole thing. Like Jimmy just went in there, banged the girl out in the bathroom,
mm-hmm.
and dipped out on her.
And dipped.
Literally, pulled his pants up, peace out. Not he didn't even say peace out. He just opened the
Right. A
and
mess.
then had the audacity to be like, "Girl, you are lying."
Right.
Mhm. And she like, "Well, where you been? Cause you dipped down. I ain't heard nothing from you."
Right. Girl.
But yeah, that was a good story. Promise was good though, but it irritated me a little bit.
Yeah. I could see that. That was another one that wasn't super long.
Right, it was a short one. That's why we had that one and the arrangement
Our
on one episode.
Yeah. Okay, so that
Okay,
was
so
number 11. Or are we on 10 now?
yep.
All right, so my number 10 is Airplane Part 2.
How dare you?
I know, but come on, the other
You know
stories,
that story was written for me.
girl. I mean, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It was good though. If y'all don't remember Airplane Part Two, remember is the cop lady or FBI,
Yeah,
whatever she
she
was,
was
CIA.
FBI, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and she went to go get JK. I love JK attitude in that story.
Me too.
I loved it because he was like, Anders is boy, send nudes.
Mhm.
I love that story.
Constantly messing with her.
My number 10 story is Promise.
Okay, so it wasn't that far off.
Uh-huh.
Okay, okay.
And so my number 9, oh, we getting down to the nitty gritty, y'all.
Right, we moving through this episode, girl. We only at 17 minutes.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Where is my number? Oh, my number 9 is House of Cards.
Okay, okay. You're not far from me.
What was your number 9?
My number 9 is Beautiful Little Secret.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know what's so crazy, when I ranked the list earlier, I had the story in my head and now I can't remember. Oh, this is the
Oh,
one.
yeah. That
This
was when the girl worked for Bang P, remember?
Yep.
She was, and her and AK was together.
Yep.
You remember on
Yeah,
our
this is what
last,
she was talking about when she was like, I'll quit or whatever she was gonna do, and he's like,
that
no,
she,
I will.
yeah, remember she broke up with him because they were together, and then Bang PD found out about them, fired the girl,
Mm-hmm.
sent her to the motel, not hotel, the
The
motel, remember?
motel. They set her up real raggedy.
Right, and then made JK get in a relationship with another K-pop star.
Yep.
And he was going along with it. Let me tell you what I remember the most that irritated me about this story. I love the story now. But what irritated me about this story was we had to keep saying, remember, he was young minded. He kept doing stupid stuff.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like he went on that date with the girl the first day, and she said, "Well, when he came back?" And she was like, "How was the date or whatever?" Because at that time, like it was understood that he was just going to do this, but he was going to come home to her,
Right, and he telling her all excited and whatnot.
right? And she was like, "Well, what did y'all talk about?" He was like, "Oh, we just talked about you." And she was like, "Now, why would you do that?
Right, idiot.
Why would you tell the enemy about our relationship?"
Okay,
And
girl.
the whole time he was like, "Oh, I don't know what to do anymore."
Right. I don't know. I just don't understand why this is a problem. Like, sir, that's the problem right there.
And her and Jen was best friends.
Mm-hmm.
And when we finally kind of separated, he kept trying to find her and Jen wouldn't tell her.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's right.
Yeah, Jin went and tell her. He was like, I ain't gonna tell you till you done with Emma. I think that was her name, Emma. And he can like, cause remember he wasn't even supposed to have nothing with that girl. Then he ended up like having a whole relationship with this girl, and then the
Yeah.
girl started to like her, but he never really liked her like that. He still was on the other girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that story was good.
That was a good story.
Mm-hmm. What number are we on?
8. So my number, because you just did your 9, yeah, and your number 9 was House of Cards, right?
Yes.
Okay, so my number 8 is House of Cards, and so this House of Cards story, y'all, is actually ex June Child X House of Cards, which was on AO3. I know there's another story that's called House of Cards, but this is the one that we reviewed of hers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I this story was where the girl was a the wardrobe person
Mm-hmm.
for BTS, and she was going on tour with them, and it's a Namjoon story, and her and Namjoon end up like kind of falling for one another, but they got to keep it on the low, and Yoongi's always around to peep stuff he wasn't
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be peeping, but he peeped it anyway.
It's
Yeah.
so funny because I can see Yugi's attitude in this story.
Yeah, just being nosy and looking from the side like, like, Yoongi, mind
Mm-hmm.
yours, please, sir.
Right, right.
He always was around with that mess. It's funny, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was a good one.
Um, it was a good one. So my number eight story was frat boys.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, girl, frat boys was so good.
It
Like you
was a
don't
good
remember
story.
the whole emotion. She had started sleep. She was sleeping with Jimmy, and then Jimmy was sleeping with that other girl. She sat outside and cried in the
Oh,
rain.
is this the one where she ended up going inside when he was messing with that other girl, and she didn't even get mad. She shut the door, and they ended up having sex. Is that story?
Yeah, yeah.
Girl,
She
I
went out. She was
forgot.
now you can have her.
I forgot about that. That was a cold line.
Yeah, that was a good story. I love
Mm-hmm.
frat boys.
That was a really good story. Dang. Yeah, that was a good story. What are we
We
at?
are on number seven.
Okay, so for my number 7, I actually put roommates with benefits because I just thought it was so freaking cute.
Hmm.
So I know we already talked about that story, but that's where I put roommates with benefits.
Well, my number seven story is Beautiful Little Secret.
Okay, okay, so not too far from mine.
All right, but I still know what your number one is.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. All right, so my number 6 is possessive Mr. Kim Tae-young.
Girl, same,
Okay.
same.
So that's the story where he has the assistant, right? And that she's traveling
Hmm.
with him, and she ends up being like his right hand girl, and they go out of town, and um,
Hmm.
yeah, they the
The
wall,
wall,
to
yes,
be a
to be
wall,
a wall.
yo,
I feel like this is where To Be a Wall was born.
originated. I think it was. I think you're right. I
For
think you're
real.
right.
That story was so good.
It was the Tay stories I noticed, like especially if he's somebody's boss or something like that. He plays the same type of character in a lot of those stories. He's never like the super nice guy that has been just really hoping that all his people aren't working too hard. He's always like the dick. Like he's always the one that's
Hmm.
just such a jerk to people, and then they come around and all of that. And that's kind of what he was in this story, but it was such a good story.
Right. Witness the story where she was going with was she going with Jen?
Yeah, and she started that job and didn't tell Jen yet, but but she had already started. I think he was supposed to be. Oh no, that's a
Didn't
different story.
Jen end wait, didn't Jen end up cheating on her?
Yeah,
What
so
happened? I'm
he
trying
was.
to
Oh wait,
think.
no, is that the other story? I was gonna say there was one story where the girl started a job, and he was leaving, but I think that was the other story because remember we was talking about how Tay was her boyfriend and they hadn't had sex yet, and then she decided on the night he was leaving.
Oh yeah, that was the other story.
Mm-hmm.
But this story is when she was a secretary and he took her on the trip.
Mm-hmm.
but she was with somebody.
She was with Jen.
Okay. Wait, ain't this the same story?
I don't.
Where he
I
where
don't
he
know.
took her on. I thought this was okay. Maybe I'm getting mixed up, but girl, that story was still good. The
Yeah, he did take
possessiveness.
her though. He did take her on the trip, and they had that whole thing because remember she met Namjoon there, and
Uh huh.
yeah, it was a whole thing.
Yeah. He jacked her up when she was going to see Nam June, honey.
Right, talking about some you supposed to be more professional. She was like, you told me whatever I do in my spare time when I'm not on clock is my time.
Right.
Mm-mm.
I was trying to think, wasn't that the story? Wasn't that where Yugi and him got together? Was I might be mixing them two stories up. Wasn't it where Yugi was like his business partner or something like that, and then Namjoon was trying to take the company?
No, that was Oh wait, was it that story?
See, them two stories are kind of similar.
They're
I don't
very
know what that other
similar.
story was, but I remember so much of it.
Yeah, there was that one story where he was taken over, but I feel like Yoongi. I don't know. I don't remember whose story that was.
Girl, Mr. Possessive Mr. Teo was number six.
Okay. Yep. All right.
And it still was good. It still was high ranking to me.
Yeah. So, what did you rank for your number 5?
Now we really getting into it, huh?
Yeah.
Number five, Airplane Part Two.
Okay. Okay.
And y'all know I love Airplane Part Two because it was a story for me. Okay,
Yeah.
she wrote that story because I wanted her to. Okay,
Yeah.
and it was so good. It was so good.
It was really good.
But compared to the next four stories, it had to be number five. What was your number five?
The Gentleman's Club.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's where it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember I just said I was after I listened to the episode, it should have been ranked higher. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely a top fiver for me.
yeah, that was good for real, for real.
All right. So, what's your number 4?
Number four is sex
Yep,
therapy.
mine too. Mine too. I knew this
Sex
one was
therapy
going to be
was so
close. It
good.
was good. Ooh, I know exactly which ones you got in order now.
Sex therapy was so good. If y'all don't remember, it's about the girl that was with I forgot who was she with?
She was with
She was married.
she was married to the dude that was cheating on her with his boss.
That is right, girl. And she was going to sex therapy. He was not pleasing her. And her
Right.
friend told her, you just need to go to sex therapy, blah, 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 blah. So she ended up going to sex therapy. And then Tay was like, I can show you what to do, because she kept
Mm-hmm.
picturing whenever she would like touch herself. And, oh, you know what? In a gentleman's club, he made her touch herself too. I just realized that.
Mm-hmm.
But, in this story, he made her like touch herself, and she could not think about her husband. She kept thinking about Tay.
Mm-hmm. And then
Tay,
Tay ended up finding out about the husband being with that
mhm.
girl, and he was like,
Cause
"You
he
need to
was
tell
right. He
her."
lived. He lived in the same neighborhood.
Yep, and he would see him over at that house talking about, so you need to say something to her
Mhm.
before I do.
Right.
A mess. And she was pregnant.
Oh yeah, she got pregnant with that man, baby.
Yeah.
And then he tried to get. And then after she told him, cause he had already. She found out about him,
Right.
but then she told him about what she was doing, and he got her out.
Had the nerve to say, I can't believe you would. But you know what? This goes to tell you.
Mhm. Yep.
I
Yep.
just. A mess. But yeah, had the nerve to call her a hoe after he had a whole baby on her.
Right. And she was like, you know what? I expected that out of you.
A shame. Took it like a champ.
Mhm.
Was like, yeah, okay,
Yes.
whatever. You wasn't even working it anyway, so
Mhm.
next. So they
And then is this the same story with Tay Mama? Oh, that's right, because Tay Mama was
Yes, in the house. Yep, it is that story.
yeah. And,
Mm-hmm.
and when she tried to take care of his mama, he freaked out on her and
Freaked
started acting
out.
crazy.
Yep. But
Ooh, this story was so
it
good.
was so good. They made their way through their whole little relationship with all the trials and traumas and all that. They did it. They did it.
Yes. Yes. This story was so good.
So good. Ooh, that's good. You had the same. Okay, cool.
Okay, what was your number 3?
My number 3 is Butterfly.
Girl, same.
Yep. Like I said, I already know how the rest of your list is going, girl. I already know, as you probably know mine.
Yep. Okay, so Butterfly, y'all, if y'all, this was our very first read on the show.
Yeah, our very first episode. Yeah, it was. We did the trailer and then Butterfly.
Right. And Butterfly was what's her name? Kalaisha?
Kalasia.
That's right. And she was going with Namjoon.
Mm-hmm.
But she was a superstar too, right?
Yep, she was.
Yeah.
She was more famous at the time than BTS was. Like BTS was BTS, but they weren't as famous as she was.
And see, and now that I think about it, and when you said that, it's so refreshing to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't see that most of the time. It's BTS over everybody, but right here, honey, it was her. She was the star.
Mm-hmm.
She was teaching Namjoon the tricks.
Yep, keeping them humble.
Yes, that story was so good.
So good. Oh, that was a good story.
And it was our first real AMBW. Wasn't
it was. Yep.
Oh no, wait, it wasn't. Heaven Sent was our first AMBW.
Oh, that's right, because that wasn't on. Dang, I missed that story. That story was so good.
It was so good. I wish I could find it.
I wonder if it's on another platform somewhere.
If y'all know, let us know. Honey.
Yeah, please let us know.
Because the first story she had wrote was the sequel. She had gotten to the sequel.
Yeah.
And I think that's right when she had the baby. And he didn't know about it. Then he started being a parent to the baby, and then the story was gone.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's on another platform and that we'll be able to. Because that one I would definitely want to do a review on. Even though it's been a long time, I would definitely want to do a review on that one.
We never done a review on Heaven Sent.
But we talk about it all the time.
Yeah, but y'all don't know we talk about it because we always say, what was that story?
Oh, yeah, true.
What was it called? Well, I kept thinking about it, and I had to write that sucker down. Heaven Sent.
I know that's
It was so good. So good.
Shout out to you for finding it.
Thank you, girl. I wish I could find it now.
I know, right?
So that was our number 3, Butterfly. Oh, Butterfly was so good.
So good. All right. So my number 2, which I know is your number 1, is The Perfect 10.
Same.
Is it?
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
You know I love The Perfect 10. But girl, it ain't better than number 1. I'm sorry.
What? I'm so surprised.
It is not. I love The Perfect 10. But it ain't better than number 1.
Yeah, okay. Not our top 4 being the exact same. I told you.
Girl, we the same people.
Look, I told you when we did the last episode, I said our lists are going to be pretty close.
So if y'all remember The Perfect 10, it was almost, it wasn't alike, but it kind of reminded you of the Gentleman's Club. The girl went online and her friends hooked her up, and she slept with she slept with Taylor, Sugar,
Jimin, right?
And I think Jimin, yep, and Jimin too. But she slept with JK first, and then she ended up being with JK, falling in love with JK. Oh, that story was so good.
It was really good.
When I tell y'all the smut was top tier,
man, that was probably because I feel like we read that story and we read Juan Pito right after it.
Girl, don't talk about Juan Pito. If I Peter, Juan Pito will be number 1. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, Juan Pito was really good. The story was good, but the smut was also good. But the story was great.
God, so good. This girl is on too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where she went to.
I don't know, girl.
All her stories is good, and I feel like we read them all.
We read a bunch of them. We did.
Mm-hmm. Was it Bangtan Love? Was that her name?
I think it was Bangtan Love 86.
Because it was two Bonton loves. Because the one with the number on the end was when I was trying to find the girl Bonton love because she took off
Oh,
all these
okay.
stories,
Mhm.
and we found Bonton love just by looking for. I mean, Bonton. We found Bonton Love 86 by looking for Bon. I did looking for Bonton Love, and then she started sending us her story, and her story was good too.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to the stories. I hope everybody is well. Y'all was doing some,
Right, for
you
real.
just never know. It's been a rough couple of years. So those
Right,
stories were really good. And if y'all are still writing out there, keep writing. And if you don't feel like
please.
sharing them, that's cool. We just wanted you to know that we appreciated your stories.
Yes, and tell us. And if you write somewhere else, tell us so we can go there.
Yeah, if y'all writing on Tumblr though, you could don't let us know. Don't let us know. I'm kidding. Please
I
let us
don't
know.
care
We'll
if it
read
was
it.
if it was heaven sent now.
Oh, I'm gonna go.
I
I'm
will
gonna go read it
find it
wherever
and
I
I'm
need
gonna
to
read
read it. Yep.
that part.
Yep. Wherever I need to read it.
Yes, wherever. We do whatever we gotta do to read that one because that story was
Absolutely.
so good. Oh
So
my God.
good. Yes.
That started off so.
It
I
started.
remember
You.
heaven sent so good because I was like, girl, you gotta read it. He was like, girl, I don't know about this.
Yeah. That it started off so weird. I was like,
Yeah.
nah, this ain't for
Yeah, because it
me.
was a racial thing. The
Yeah.
girl lived in Korea. The people in Korea was treating the black girl wrong. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let's just talk about that when we get to honorable mention.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So our number one story that we both have is
Sweeter than
Sweeter Than
sweet.
Sweet, baby.
Part one and two.
Yes.
Yes, that story was so good. This is the one, if y'all don't remember, this is the vampire one where, oh my
Yes.
gosh, it was so good. And that's where
So
she ends up
good.
becoming, and she ends up falling in love with Yoongi, but then she kind of also falls in love with Jimin.
No, she fell in love with Jimin
Oh, Jimin
first, and
first,
Yuki came. Yes.
later. And
I'm
then
June.
Namjoon was after her.
Girl.
Ooh.
Mine. One word. Mine.
Mine, right. Then, oh, you remember this is the one where he told her, "Oh yeah, Jimin said we could do it. He said it's cool." And then as soon as they got into it, he gonna tell her, "I lied."
I lied.
Girl.
That's the part when they was trying to get her or whatever. He was like, mine. He had started getting bloodthirsty and all
Mhm.
that stuff. Remember? Oh, that story was so
So
good.
good. Oh my gosh, it was
Oh,
so
it was
good.
long and good, and I enjoyed every second of that
That's
story.
another AO3. You know, a lot of these stories that we did on this first go around actually came from AO3.
Mm.
There's some that came from Wattpad, but a lot of them are AO3.
But why the world are we having so much trouble with AO3 now?
Because we don't have the app anymore.
Oh, that's right, that's right, that's right. We don't
Yeah.
got the app no more.
I'm gonna look
Damn
though.
that
I'm gonna
story.
look to see if there's another app for it because AO3 be having them stories, boy.
Girl, they be having some stories. And even the TikTok that I sent you
Mm-hmm.
about that girl was talking about that story was on L3.
Yeah. See, we gotta. I know like if you read it from the computer, it's different, but who got time to be doing that?
I know, ain't nobody gonna do that.
Girl, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see if I can find another app or something that we can use that's compatible. Cause
Please, I hope so.
yeah, we missing out. We had a lot of those good stories that we read came from AO3.
Right. But girls, y'all have if y'all have not read Sweeter Than Sweet, I know y'all missing because everybody know about Sweeter Than Sweet.
Yeah, Sweeter Than Sweet is a very good story. Like, oh, it's a very
Popular.
good story. There's so many twists and turns. There's just so
Oh
many
man.
things that happen with it. Oh, it's so good.
Because remember when it started, she loved with Jimmy, and then she just wanted to be with him all the time. Then she got to the house, and Namjoon gave him hell because of it.
Right.
He had him doing all these jobs and all this stuff just so she could stay in the house.
Mm-hmm. And so that he was never around.
Right, and then you know what else I love about it? I love Yugi and story.
Me too.
He was such a lover and nurturer, and
Mm-hmm.
so and it was great. It was like he let like Jimin loved her, and she loved Jimin, but she had something. She had something with Yugi that she did not have with everybody else, and she slept with all of them, didn't she?
I think
Did she?
so. I think so. Yeah.
He allowed her to be a little bird, okay?
Yeah, because he said as long as she got permission, he was cool with it. And so
Right.
but the only person he was not cool with was Namjoon because he already knew what it
Namjoon.
was.
Mm-hmm. But didn't they have a past or something?
Her and Namjoon?
Him and Namjoon had some type of
Oh yeah, him
past.
and Namjoon had a past because I think this wasn't the first time like somebody had stolen a girl from somebody.
Mm.
I think that was, and I think it was somebody's sister, wasn't it?
Mm, I can't remember. They had a past though, and that's the reason why they just didn't fool
Yeah.
with him. I don't think any of them really fooled with him. They just respected him as the leader.
Right.
He was the person that put the jobs in order and everything.
But as time went on with that girl being there, he started to like open up more, and all the guys started to kind of like bond a little bit more. So they were all really getting close, and then all the stuff went south
Girl,
immediately.
so south. And then remember after that whole thing, they kicked Namjoon out, and then Hobie started being like the leader.
Yep.
And then that's when we had to go back, like a year later.
Yeah.
And read the rest of Sweeter Than Sweet when something happened.
I don't remember what happened in the second one, to be honest.
Something happened. And they had to go and get Namjoon.
Oh, girl got because they were okay. Because there was another group that were like after them, like another gang or something like that, and so they had done something to the girl, and they had to get Namjoon because Namjoon was able to help, and then he gave her his blood and changed her into a vampire. But she ain't know that because he did it and then he bounced, and so she's like okay healing and all this other stuff, and they was like we got something we need to tell you, and the next thing she says I need to see him.
Right.
Girl.
And that's what we ended up, and they had to go back a year later.
Mm-hmm.
But then remember, she was her friend was involved with Hobie. Remember?
Oh yeah, which we thought that was crazy. Wasn't the
friend
friend
was involved? Huh?
Wasn't the friend crooked or something like that?
No, the friend went crooked, but she tried to kill her own friend when she was turned into a vampire.
Oh, that's right.
And then her friend was like, I don't want nothing to do with y'all.
Yeah.
I can't even understand why the friend wasn't turned either. She was with Hobie for a long time.
She was with Hobie for a long time, and because they had been dealing with each other pretty much at the start, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was such a good story.
It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, y'all. Number one is Sweeter Than Sweet. If you ain't read it, you're missing out.
Yeah, definitely one to read. Again, it is on AO3, and it is by who is that story by? Sweeter Than Sweet. I'm about to look because I have it pulled up. Give Me Some Sugar on AO3.
That's right. Another Give Me Some Sugar.
Mm-hmm. Give Me Some Sugar.
I don't know what it was. I know that's what we should do. Go on AO3, just look for Give Me Some Sugar.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at this to see what apps they have because I really like to read some more of those stories.
Well, Give Me Some Sugar is another Londoner.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I listened to her on another podcast when I first got into a fan. I was listening to podcasts. And they interviewed her.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
So her and our old girl with motorsport are Londoners. Okay, guys, let's get into these honorable mentions. Originally, it was only one honorable mention for us because we had Sweetie on the last one that we took. But after listening to one of the episodes, I realized that it was one at the end of the episode, and that one is Quick and Dirty.
Oh, Quick and Dirty, yep.
And that's exactly what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Quick and Dirty. But it was so good for Quick.
I didn't hear that.
You can't hear me?
Mm-mm. It just cut out as you said. You said but, and then I couldn't hear nothing.
Oh, I said, but it was so good for it to be so quick.
Yeah, it was really good. There was a lot packed into it without it being like too much.
Right. It was so cute though. I liked it.
Yeah, I did too.
And our last honorable mention we was already talking about was Heaven Sent, y'all. By Bonds on Love, wherever she at.
Mm-hmm.
That story was so good because at the beginning of that story, it was talking about a girl that was like I don't know if she was adopted or she moved to Korea.
Yeah,
Okay,
she ended up being adopted by Tay's family.
right, and she moved them, and Ted treated her like trash.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, trash. Like she went to that school, they dogged her out, they bullied her bad. Tay was right along with them,
Mm-hmm.
but he was along with them because he was like the popular guy. So then, as time went on, he just started loving her, and like they was to be together. I don't even think the parents objected at this time.
No, they definitely did. They were not happy about them being together.
Oh, they did. Okay, I
Yeah,
don't
because
remember
remember
that
they was
part.
like, y'all can't be together, and they tried to send her away because it was like, if you get pregnant or something like that, I think they ended up sending her away.
Oh, that's what happened. The girl ended up
Yeah,
getting pregnant.
yeah, they was
She ended up getting.
yeah,
Hmm.
yep.
So the girl ended up getting pregnant, and the daddy sent her
Sent
away
her away, and Tay
and
was
told
pissed
her
off the whole time,
he didn't
thinking
even know.
didn't even
He
know,
didn't know. Remember?
but he was pissed because the dad said that she just up and left, and
Yeah.
not realizing that he had sent her away, and she felt some type of way because they had said some other things too. So they not knowing what's going on until years later. Where
When she had a
now,
job in Korea, she
mm-hmm.
came back. And then the daddy was telling you better not say nothing either.
Right? She's like, first of all, I'm grown.
Right,
First and foremost,
period. Right. And then she ended up working for the same goddamn company.
right,
Tay's company.
right, and
I feel like there was another story almost like this, but
there
it wasn't as
was,
good.
yeah.
So she ended up just working for Tay's company and like Tay was with a whole nother woman.
Treated her like trash. Not the woman. I'm talking
Treated her
about the
like trash
girl.
again.
Yeah.
Didn't even know she had a whole baby, a son, or maybe it was a daughter. I don't remember.
I think it was a son.
But he treated her like trash again, and then he found out that she had a baby, and then they started to like be in love again, and then that's when the story disappeared.
Right. Oh, so good.
So good. We gonna find her somewhere.
Yeah, we are. We got to. That story was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was our ratings for
Yep.
all of the ones that we've read and done an episode on, with some honorable mentions. Um, excuse me. If you guys are new to the podcast, we are on all streaming platforms mostly. You can follow us on all of our social media accounts. If you have any um, recommendations or anything like that, you can email us at doyoureadbts@yahoo.com.
And welcome and stay a while.
Yeah, welcome. Stay a while, enjoy, chat, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
We be going
Hit
live from
us
time to
up.
time on TikTok, so.
Yeah, we probably should do that soon.
Oh, yeah, probably.
I was literally like sitting here like, I need to do some TikToks, and then I put on my bonnet.
Girl, it's over. It's over. It's night time
You
now,
know what's
girl.
so funny when we say bonnet is I was listening to I don't know what episode it was. It might have been even a recent
Oh,
episode.
I
And
already know
you
what
was
you're about
like
to say.
and you was like, girl, he a good one if you put on the bonnet.
Right. Can't be having her out here messed up, but
Right?
gotta put baby girl bonnet on.
Yes. It was so funny.
That is funny.
Anyway, thank you guys for joining
Yeah,
us.
thank you for joining us, and we will see you guys next episode.
Bye.
Bye.